Hello, welcome to FinancialSenseTV.com. My name is Kurt Jackson. I'm a certified mortgage planner and asset protection specialist. You know, our goal here at FinancialSenseTV.com is to help educate the consumer in all aspects of money so you'll be better equipped to make decisions that benefit you and not the person trying to sell you something. Today's topic's really for anybody looking to buy or refinance a home. As of January 1st of this year, 2010, more new regulations in the mortgage industry have kicked in. The government, in their goal to better protect the consumer, has implemented some new measures to try to attain that goal. The problem is when the government tries to help consumers, many times they do more harm than good. Now, while the jury's still out on this particular change, it's definitely going to be more confusing for you, the consumer, for real estate agents, and for really anybody dealing with financing a home. Now, from a full disclosure standpoint, I want to let you know that I am both a mortgage broker and a mortgage banker. And I want to make that distinction because this new system of disclosure can make it look like a deal from a bank or a mortgage bank is better than one from a mortgage broker, when in fact it's not. The goal here is to help you determine who's actually offering you the best loan for you and your situation. Now, what am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about what we call in the industry the good faith estimate. It's also known as the GFE. Now, this is a disclosure that any lender must give you at the beginning of the process of getting a loan. It's supposed to help you in determining who's offering you the cheapest loan, but not necessarily the best loan for you and your situation. In the past, the GFE has had so many holes in it that unscrupulous lenders could doctor the figures to make their loan look like something it was not. And from all appearances, it appears that most of those holes have been filled with the new GFE, which is a good start for you. Disclosing costs, terms, and conditions is a complex process with confusing forms. The idea from this video series is really to try to simplify the GFE as much as possible for you. To do that, why don't we start with when the lender is required to give you a good faith estimate. There's 6 things that a lender needs before they're required to give you a good faith estimate. They need your name, your social security number, your address, the estimated value of the house. They need to pull your credit, and they need an income amount. Now, once a lender has all of these, they have to issue you a good faith estimate within 3 days of getting all that information. Now, as we go through this info, I'll try to interject my opinion on whether or not I think it's a good thing or a bad thing for you, and I'll try to justify why. But remember, it's my opinion, but I'm trying to do it from the consumer's perspective. You know, in the government's infinite wisdom, we've gone from a one-page form that told you really everything you needed to know about the loan costs to a new 3-page form that does not tell you everything you need to know. Smart, huh? Let's start on page 1 to see what you should look for first. In the section labeled Important Dates, the number 1 shows how long the interest rate for this good faith estimate is good for. Now, I'm not sure how lenders are going to handle this, but don't be surprised to see some offer the rate good for a very short period of time, maybe even minutes. If they're offering a rate for a much longer period of time, I would guess that rate's a little higher than what the current market rate is. What you got to realize is that mortgage rates move up and down throughout the day, every day. And unless the market for loans changes drastically, it's extremely difficult for a lender to guarantee a rate on a loan that you're not ready to lock in, and that the lender's not sure that they're actually going to fund. Now, on its face, this looks to be a good thing for the consumer, and it might end up being. But I can see this as a potential way to confuse you into thinking a particular lender has the cheapest loan for you, especially one from a bank or a mortgage bank. See, from a business standpoint, if you don't commit to doing a loan with me today, why would I guarantee you a rate that I don't know will be there when you're ready to commit? I'm really curious to see how this aspect plays out, and it could be the subject of a future video. Number 2 in this section tells you for how long the fees required to close your loan are guaranteed for if you use the lender's service providers. See, lenders only have to guarantee these fees within a 10% variance if you use their service provider, not if you use your own or your real estate agent service providers. Number 3 tells you that once you lock your interest rate, how many days you have to get your loan done before the rate expires. Now, unless you're well into the loan process, this number should probably be 30 days at least. The concern I have here is if lenders would use this as a way to tell you they can give you a much lower rate up front, but then have delays in processing the loan so you end up getting a higher rate in the end, you're blowing through your lock, so to speak. I don't see where there's any teeth in making the lender give you that rate if you go beyond the number of the days listed here. And trust me, folks, I've seen it for years. There are many ways for lenders to miss processing dates and blame them on you. It's a huge area of concern for the consumer, in my opinion. Number 4 tells you how many days before you actually sign your final loan documents that you got to lock your loan rate in. So let's say you wanted to sign on the 30th of the month and you're floating your rate, you haven't locked. They say you have to do it 15 days before signing. Then you'd need to lock your rate on or before the 15th of that month. So in the next box down, the summary of your loan box, look for what your term and your interest rate are. Below the rate is your principal and interest payment only. It does not include taxes and insurance. Next, check the type of loan that you're getting. If you're getting a fixed rate loan, then all the other boxes should be checked no. If any of the other boxes are checked yes, then you got to be aware that you're getting a non-traditional loan. And I'm not going to go into detail on those. Just know that if yes is checked on any of these boxes, you're being offered a loan other than the traditional fixed rate loan. If you already knew you were getting a non-traditional loan, then your lender should have explained the loan well enough to you that you can tell if what they have told you is what they disclosed here. If it differs from what they told you, you should strongly consider finding another lender to better explain why you need that particular loan. Not understanding these non-traditional loans are where the biggest problems with our housing and our economy began. The next box down is about having an escrow account. An escrow account is where the lender adds 1/12 of your taxes and insurance to your payment each month and holds that money to pay your insurance and taxes when they're due. If your loan amount is more than 80% of the value of your house, then you can expect to have an escrow account. I'm going to come back to the bottom of this page later because the numbers here are just cited elsewhere. But let's go ahead and turn over to page 2. The most important aspect of the new good faith estimate is that it locks in how much the lender can charge or basically make you on your loan. Well, kinda. So you're going to be able to see exactly how much a mortgage broker can make, but if you're working with a bank or a mortgage bank, you still don't know, and honestly, I doubt you ever will. This is where the Federal Trade Commission found confusion setting in and leading you to pick the more expensive loan. Now, to avoid that confusion, let's focus on what's important to you, and that's the bottom line. See, once a number goes in line number 1, the lender can't change it. Now, that should be a good thing for you. There's no other fees that the lender can charge you for their own benefit. This number cannot change once it's disclosed to you. Now, under some circumstances, the bank, mortgage bank, or mortgage broker could make less than this number. Now, here's where working with a mortgage broker could be better for you. If for some reason the lender was able to make more money than the rate they charged you, if you were working with a mortgage broker, the mortgage broker by law has to refund that amount to you at closing, whereas the mortgage bank or the bank doesn't have to refund this money. Now, do you really think the bank will refund that extra money to you? How would you even know if they got it? But see, with the mortgage broker, you will know at closing if they don't happen to tell you before. To see this original amount, go to page 2 of the good faith estimate and look at the top of the page in box numbered 1. Okay. Now, you know what? In order to do this section justice, I really need to go into more detail than our time on this particular video allows. So when I get done here, please click below. I'll click on the video right below here and I'll explain in more detail. Thanks for tuning in to FinancialSenseTV.com to learn about the new good faith estimate. If you have any specific questions, you can email me at kurt@FinancialSenseTV.com or call my mortgage office at 816-415-1737. I'll be happy to go a little deeper with you. Thanks.